Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Taurus for December 2015. Check out my new blog, on astrology and other topics if it's after November 17th, go to aspiritualspark.com. If it's before November 17th, go to anniehelpsyou.com. Things are still under construction. And let's get on to what's happening for Taurus in the month of December. So we've got quite a busy month with lots of Sag energy at the beginning of the month, busy shopping season stuff, and the stars are very conducive for that. If you can get all your shopping done by December 19th, that would be great, because then the Mercury shadow period starts December 20th. And if you know anything about Mercury retrograde and its shadow, you know you don't want to be shopping for things at that time. It's not the best time. So if you're a last minute shopper, you really want to get your stuff done by the 19th, this year anyways. So the energy for Taurus is very much focused in three sectors of experience: the 6th house, the 7th house, and the 8th house. The 7th house and the 8th house are our two partnership houses. So whether you're an early, middle, or late degree Taurus placement, you've got heavy long-term and short-term energy in one of your two sectors of relationship. So long-term relationship building, short-term relationship focus, wherever the sun goes, it brings this spotlight. I'm likening it this month to an inspector. It's like if you're a home inspector and you go in a house and you're writing down, oh, okay, that is working well, that's not working very well. That's what the sun does, and that's what a lot of these long and short-term transits do when they're there in that field of experience. The houses that we talk about in astrology are fields of experience that we have as humans. There are 12 of them, 12 signs, 12 houses. They correspond each with the 12 signs. So when you have focus on relationships through short and long term, it's like you're taking an assessment of what the strengths are and what the weaknesses are. So the weaknesses will really show up like, that's a problem. But the strengths will really show up too. And so this is a blessing. I always think that transits show us weak links. And I think this is a good thing, especially if you are a conscious seeker, because you're trying to look for these things that are interfering with your highest expression. Now, if you're someone who's not purposely looking for these things, that can be a little bit more challenging because things are happening to you and you don't really have a way to place them to make that positive. So if you can reframe transits to always remember, if you hear a challenging transit's coming up, instead of saying, oh crap, what are we going to do now? This is going to be bad. Think about it another way. Think, oh, well, I'm going to get to have weak links shown to me so that I can strengthen them, so that the next time a transit comes relevant to that area, there's less of a chance I'm going to have a problem from it, or it could be a softer experience because I strengthened that link from the information I had from previous transits. So all of your links involving relationships, and for some of you, later, middle, and later degree placements, and actually really all Tauruses in some way, have some focus on the 6th house. It's going to be different placements for each of you depending on where your exact placement in Taurus is. But health and your daily surroundings are being focused on. So there could be some weak links there. Maybe you don't have a great system at home or work. Maybe you have stuff all over the place and you're disorganized, Maybe you don't have a good routine for your health or for your lifestyle. Lifestyle changes have to be made, and this might be the time to do that. So a lot of this energy for the early degree placements, and this is coming for the rest of you, is in the 8th house. And the 8th house has to do with the shared resource portion of relationships. So it's like me and my stuff merged with you and your stuff. So this could be spousal relationship, this could be family relationship, your family resources, this could be anything that is not your own money but is helping you. So like a loan or a grant, or it's other people's money, So if you're trying to get access to money, or you're trying to clear up debt, which many of you probably are, because this energy is focused in that division of your life, so this is a really good time to deal with that. If you're being harassed by debt collectors, there are many things that you can do to help with that. Look up online sources for this. If you want to get out of debt, there's many ways that you can do that. Now, on the topic of debt spiritually, because I'm all for focusing on practical, mundane applications of astrology, but the spiritual, esoteric story behind the lessons is where my favorite focus is. And I have come to see that the issue of forgiveness, which is associated with guilt, blame, shame, and punishment, is at the source of most of the problems and blocks that people have in their lives. If you're still holding on to something, known or unknown, and I say known or unknown because only 10 to 20% of our consciousness is conscious. The rest of it is unconscious. So you might think, oh, I'm fine, I'm done with that. I release that. I forgive this person. I forgive that person. But the other 80% is saying, actually, I didn't forgive that person. Actually, I'm still holding on to that and I'm angry about it. The way that you can be sure that you're still holding on and not forgiving someone is if someone isn't forgiving you. So that could be through loan forgiveness. If you have a loan or you have debt that people are saying, hey, you owe me. It's like this. If you are feeling consciously or unconsciously to someone else, hey, you owe me, then someone else right behind you, this is the law of karma, right? Is tapping on your shoulder saying, hey, you owe me. And that's how it goes. So if you want to just get out of the whole cycle, the best way to do that, and it's free, is this prayer called Ho'oponopono. It's H''Oponopono. H''Oponopono. If you get anything like that in a search, you'll find it. It's a Hawaiian prayer that translates as, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I have seen for my own life and for many people that I've worked with, this prayer can unhinge massive amounts of forgiveness issues on every level. You feeling like you can't forgive someone feeling like they can't forgive you, debt, other responsibilities, legal things, can unhinge this whole mountain of the guilt, shame, blame, punishment. And this is specifically relevant for you now or in the upcoming time, depending on where your placement is, because of this energy in the 8th house. This 8th house is the house ruled by Scorpio. And Scorpio is the energy of clawing onto something and not letting go, for better or for worse. It's very focused on deep intimacy and being close. But one of the negative vibrations of it is that it holds on to something till the death and even beyond the death. So this 8th house is that long-term issue, and forgiveness is very much in that house. So you have to forgive that person or that entity or that situation, or maybe it's God or whatever, whoever you have your gripe with. The only way you're going to get to the place in your life where you want to be is to let it go. So check out the Ho'oponopono. So let's talk about what else is going on. So December 1st, December 8th, they're great days for networking. They're great days for parties. Your efforts might get a boost on these days from people behind the scenes because of the placement of Uranus. So Mercury is trining Uranus on December 1st. The Sun is trining Uranus on December 8th. And Uranus rules friends and gathering and social things. So anything you're involved with there is going to light up other areas of your life, including relationship space, because of where the angles are coming in your chart. Look out on December 6th for this square with Mars and Pluto. This happened already from around March 9th through March 15th of this year, 2015. And it's happening again. So if you think about what was going on in your life at that time, there's a possibility that if there's some unfinished business there, it's going to come up at this time. And in general, Mars and Pluto are these very assertive energies. And when they're in a conflict, there can be challenges, and very likely there will be ego flares. Like I've said before, I always believe that any challenges that come in the transits are trying to help you bust through something. And maybe this will be the catalyst for something that could bring lasting change. Another day that's super active, or series of days, around December 10th, Mars is opposing Uranus. So Mars gets into some kind of conflict with these two other challenging forces, Pluto and Uranus, this month. So it can break loose some things, On December 11th, we have the new moon in Sagittarius. So it's a little bit clouded by this Mars and Uranus opposition, but you can still make your new moon wishes about everything Sagittarius. the more you align your wishes to the sign that the new moon is in, the more they have a chance of coming true. So anything involving long distance travel, anything involving other countries, different languages, different countries, different cultures, teaching, speaking, learning, education of any kind, writing, publishing, broadcasting. If you have any wishes in those areas, this is the moon that you want to harness the energy to help bring it to shore. On December 25th, we have a massive amount of energy. And this is coinciding with a holiday week in many different religions. So the odds that families are going to be gathering together are very high. Not a coincidence with this full moon in Cancer, completion, fruition, in some cases drama, coming to home or family things. Also just warm, fuzzy, emotional energy, which all of this is very likely from just the period of time, but then you add in the full moon in Cancer. So we've got an opposition with Pluto to this full moon. So this brings the odds up, and this now has happened several times throughout the month, that ego flares or power struggles are brought into the forefront. So the odds that that unresolved thing with your family that always comes up when you're at their house, maybe you don't see them all the time, you go there and it's like, oh, that thing with your brother or that thing with your dad or your mom or whatever, it's going to come up again. And so you want to be ready for it. And if you come more relaxed, you come rested, you come having done the Ho'oponopono for a while before you get there, true alchemy can take place at this beautiful time. There's, at the same time as there's an opposition to Pluto for the full moon, there's a trine to Neptune, and Mercury is making a trine to Jupiter. So there's more beautiful aspects to talk about, at this time, but there's also high drama and high power struggle potentials. So what I'm seeing from all this is the chance of a conflict is high, but the chance for a harmonious resolution is higher. So focus on it that way. This could be the holiday or the time in your life where that long-standing problem finally reaches a transcendent solution or outcome. You've just got to go in with your right foot forward. If you go in getting ready to battle and with every intention of standing your ground and being right, I'm not saying you shouldn't have healthy boundaries, you should definitely have healthy boundaries, but that if you're coming from your solar plexus and you feel that tightness there, that is not how we're going to transcend into the higher levels of experience, which are much easier. The way is to move more into the heart, and we have to surrender the ego for that. So that's the story of this time. So definitely go check out my new blog. I'll be writing succinct astrological summaries for each sign. Now, if you've been listening to my videos, I have a lot of gifts. One of them is not being succinct. So in this blog version, I plan to have some nice highlights for each sign that some will coincide with, some will be different than what I talk about in the videos. So you have your need to know little nice written organized thing on the blog. So those will be coming up soon. If you go to my site and they're not there and it's under construction, I'm sorry. You can still sign up for my email newsletter, which brings you monthly write-ups that I write for each month coming up as well. But definitely check it out, because I'll be writing about sustainable living and health and all kinds of other topics on the blog. So go to anniehelpsyou.com if it's before November 17th. Go to aspiritualspark.com if it's November 17th or after. Have a wonderful rest of your month. Have a wonderful rest of your year. And I'll see you next year.